The stories you are going to hear today are stories written by your fellow classmates. So my hope is that you will take these in and realize that we are all different, but we all need each other. Each student in here picked which story they wanted to rehearse, memorize, and perform for you. This is their first time doing something like this.
I'm by myself. I'm quiet and somewhat lonely. Literally, I'm trapped in a shadow, and I can't get out. People will pass me by without even a second glance. All I ever do is keep quiet. People will call me boring, but I don't even care. You could say I'm one of those people that's really quiet, but really observant at the same time. If there was one word I would use to describe me, it would be anxious. I get nervous about everything, and when I get nervous, my whole body starts shaking, and I can't help it. It just stresses me out even more. Everybody always tells me, oh, don't think like that, you can't think negative, and don't have that type of mindset, and I get it, because I try not to, but at the same time, you saying that isn't going to help me or my mindset. It's just going to make it worse. And to be honest, the more I hear it, the more irritated I get. People will say, oh, Lexi, you're so lucky, you've got this great life, you've got this and that. I've even had people tell me that I'm rich, but in reality, I'm not rich. I don't have any money, and neither does my family. Sometimes I just have to understand that not everyone comes from the same environment that I do. And after hearing it for so long, over and over and over again, I just let it go. Nowadays, I get even more stressed out than usual. Now that I'm 18 and more responsibilities are coming my way, I'm trying my best to juggle them all out. I do have big plans for the future. I'm trying to balance out getting a job and applying for colleges and maintaining my grades and trying to have a social life. I just want the best for me, always.
Depression can be a stubborn person's worst nightmare. Stubbornness and depression have always bumped heads and can ruin a person, especially if they have no real friends to talk to, like I do. I'm so quiet about it, my parents don't even think I'm depressed. In fact, I believe only around 3 people know about my depression, and 2 of the 3 try to help me or try to get me to get some professional help. At first, when you get to know me, we would think I'm depressed or even sad at times, but in reality, on the inside, I really am depressed. Depression is an anchor. It's always pulling you down and stopping you from doing a lot of things. Those things I'm talking about include small things, like whether or not you should go over to your friend's house. It also includes bigger things that can change your life for better or worse, like whether or not you think you're good enough for the college you want to go to.
Why are you depressed? It's not fair to me that you're sad.
Sorry, I can't help myself.
Well, I don't know if it can be this much longer. It's not fair to me.
It's not fair for you. You're not the one suffering and crying yourself to sleep almost every night, thinking about how everyone's life can be happier and better without you in it.
Okay, I'm done talking to you right now. Bye.
What did I do to deserve this? All she does is ignore me and fight with me when I get like this. It's always my fault, but how is it my fault that I act like this? To me, only one thing can make depression go away, and that is the power of love. Love has the power to make me forget I'm even depressed. It's like a yin-yang sign. Love and depression are complete opposites, but when together, they make complete harmony. Depression keeps you in reality and makes sure you're in check, but love has the power to make depression go away. Shows you the good side to life. Shows you what life is really worth living for.
Every year, around the high school winter season, my family and I go on a relaxing vacation in our sunny hometown in Mexico. Usually, we spend most of our time bonding with aunts, uncles, and cousins. The memories we make are unforgettable. It never crossed my mind that something tragic would happen, but we were all wrong one year. After a joyful night of dancing and being happy, the next day became the worst day of my life. On December 30th, 2010, we were celebrating a very special event. One of my cousins had finally gotten married. After a wonderful, well-spent day, we all went back home to get some rest. Suddenly, my Uncle Tony's truck screeched fiercely into our driveway. He screamed for my mother, but received no answer. He ran up the stairs where he found us in the doors of our rooms, terrified. He was out of breath, and not a single word could escape his mouth.
What's going on? Are you okay?
Your dad.
What about my dad?
Your dad had an accident. He died on it.
I couldn't believe what my ears were hearing. My brain tried to process what he had just said, but nothing made sense. I saw my dad hanging out the passenger window. I wanted to run to him and bring him back, but my cousin, Ricky, ran up to me and hugged me so tight that I knew she was not going to let me go. I was lifeless. My heart was put out of my chest in that very moment. I had no reason to live anymore. It was the end to my happiness. We were all supposed to be in bed. Vicky ran out and down the street crying and screaming.
I need to find my dad. He can't be dead.
It was heartbreaking seeing her lost and desperate. For this to be a horrible nightmare just like everyone else. I was in for a life without the man that did everything for my family and I. What was it going to be for us now?
It didn't take a man to make me a man. What made me who I am today, growing up in the crazy streets of Normandy like Hillsdale, Palm Island, Ville, the city, you learn a lot to teach yourself your own things without a father. A lot of things you're not supposed to teach you coming up, but I managed to taught myself, like being independent, how to grind and go get it without help. One day when I got older, I started to understand like I don't have a father and I have to become my own man and figure out a way to come to things on my own. So I had to find a way to help my mom and provide the clean way. The years go on and struggle like I continue without a father. Dad led me and showed me the root of being a man. I always felt a certain type of way and down because my dad always said he'll come get me and he'll come see me, but he never did. That made me so angry. I was always mad as a kid because kids want to see their dad. Mom knew to be found and kind of neglected me. But it became a normal thing. I didn't stop believing his lies and saying he'll come see me. This is the reason why I am who I am to this day and going to steadily push myself to be successful without a father.
On June 26, 2016, God took one of his angels back to heaven. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember all the tears, heavy breathing, pretending everything was okay, but inside, it felt like my soul had left my body. I remember my dad calling me, so I picked it up to hear something that I never thought would happen, that my little sister wasn't going to make it. Her little liver and kidneys were failing, and there was nothing left they could do to help her. Hearing my dad say,
"Sorry, baby girl, she's not gonna make it,"
killed me in the inside. After my dad hung up, I just laid there, lifeless, like a dead body in a morgue. Then a sudden rush of emotion came through me like a SWAT team running into a drug dealer's home. I balled my fists up so hard, they turned white as snow. And I grinded my teeth so hard, it felt like my jaws were going to break. And then finally, I broke. Tears began to run down my face. I lost all faith in God and religion, questioning myself over and over, God, why? Why her? Please make her come back. But in reality, she was never coming back. The following week of the funeral, I had many mixed emotions. Mad, sad, frustration, you name it. I felt it in my heart and in my stomach. The moment I walked into that funeral and saw my baby sister laying into that little white casket, my stomach began to flip like a circus. And the pastor, when he opened his mouth, the strings from my heart pulled to the strings to my mind. Man, please let this be some type of cruel dream. But trust me, I was mostly wrong. After we left the funeral, they let us go to the gravesite. they handed everyone a single rose. I hesitated to put mine down though, because this one single rose, it represented her whole life. After I just laid there crying single times, I finally whispered to myself, I love you, baby sis. Be safe. Tell God I said what's up. No boys until I get there. And all my love was put into this one single white rose.
His words were stuck in my head. All I could hear words of panic and early torture. Oh no, oh no. Please don't let this be real. Are you guys okay? Did anybody get hurt? The weather's so bad today. Our mouth tried to reply, but as if the words weren't there. So instead, John responded with, we're fine, man. How are you guys? Did anybody get hurt? I'm so sorry. The situational play itself thinks in my head that John was driving behind the wheel. He doesn't have his license. He has some alcohol. I'm completely stoned. What if they notice? What if they call the cops? What if the cops call our parents because we're underage? I basically concluded that we're already caught. I looked over at John and I said, we have to call our parents, John. I mean, come on. We screwed up now. We have to man up. I got my phone out. He immediately stopped me. Justin, we can't. We're going to fix this. Everything will be fine. Let me take it back. John, slow the car down, as he said with a worried voice. I'm only going 30 and 40. We'll be fine. It might seem fine, but with the icy roads you're trying to stop, it won't work the same. A minute after I said that, everything happened. The worst experience happened for me that night. Looking at John, knowing that our actions were no good, and I had a cold sensation in the pit of my stomach, knowing we didn't put our lives in danger. We didn't put other people's lives in danger. We're better than this. We have to be better than this. We all have a dark side. We must experience through our dark side to understand our true selves. Thank you.
You know, growing up, I always thought about what I wanted to be when I became an adult. I'm still not sure what I want to be. Let it be going to the Navy part-time or full-time, baseball player if possible, behavior analysis for the FBI, whatever it is, I want to be great. I want to push myself until I can't walk, until I can't breathe anymore, so I can be the very best I can be. That's what it takes to succeed in life and move up onto the world. See better than that person that's standing next to you or the person that's in the mirror. Now, seeing all these people around me fail makes me wonder why. Why are these people failing? I'll tell you why. Lack of effort and motivation. People nowadays don't have anything to push themselves forward to. They don't have the drive. They just look at the bad and give up. They want to be as good as someone else. No, that's not how it works. You have to be better than that person. It's like if you play football, for instance. You don't want to tie with the other team. You want to destroy them with 20, 30, or more points to prove that you are much better than them. My focus and determination came from my beloved Uncle Rick. He would tell me all these stories about all these failures he had and how he wanted me to do way better. I took these moments to heart, and I love him to pieces. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks. My dad sat us down one day, and he told us that he was gone. We went into the hospital, and the whole family was there. I walked into the room, and I just lost it. I bawled the whole time. It was the same thing that happened when we lost my grandma. One day, I woke up, and my mom told me, when you lose someone, they are never truly gone. They're always in your heart. Once she told me that, I took what she said and the stories my uncle told me, and it made me wiser. So yeah, losing my uncle was tough, but now I know, even though he's not here right now, that even though he would be there to pick me up when I fall and to pick me up when I down, if he was here. I love you and miss you, Uncle.
We're out of time, folks. Thank you. Appreciate it. Come to the dance.